being a leader of your household, you know, you set the tone. So for me, if I'm not getting better every day, then I feel like I'm holding my family back, you know. So yeah, I just really want to dive into self-development, reading, listening to audiobooks. Yeah, and it also builds self-confidence. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let's talk about it. When the last time you told somebody keep their head up, cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy, we don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate hate around it. Sticking to keeping it real, we never keep up with the scope. Wanna be more than do more than most. Wanna be more than do more than most.
This episode is brought to you by Lucilla's Cleaning Service, where your cleanliness is our business. Now, this company specializes in commercial and residential cleaning. So if you want a free quote, be sure to reach out to their website at www.lucillascleaningservice.com.
And that's kind of what we want to talk about today, man. Self-confidence.
Okay.
Self-confidence. Have you ever had a lack of self-confidence? Like, have you experienced the lack of self-confidence? I'm asking because us as men, like, sometimes we tend to be pompous, like, we don't want nobody to know. You know,
I've never been that guy though.
Really?
Like, I've never been afraid to be transparent.
Yeah. I
don't know why it's that way. Like, I don't know if I was just raised that way or what, but like,
right.
I always lived in a spirit of like transparency.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think
confident.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, right? But I definitely like when I just kind of growing up, right? Like growing up in your brother's shadow.
Yeah.
It's always a level of doubt there, right? Because
right.
You know, again, like I'm from Valsa, Georgia, 229. West Side, South County, you know, straight across the tracks, you know. But no, in all seriousness though, like it's one of those things where like growing up in a city like that, it's you know, football is everything, and if you're not performing on the field, like I hate to say it like this, but like you're kind of like a nobody in a sense, or like who are you, right?
Right.
So your identity is built into that.
Makes sense.
Which, you know, it's not always the healthiest thing, right? But it was what it was.
Right.
So, like, just kind of knowing that, like, my brother was so talented and gifted, you know, just from rec league, right? And just always having to kind of live in that shadow.
Makes sense.
Definitely led to some self-doubt.
Makes sense. So it kind of developed a lack of confidence in your own capabilities, right? Man, I totally get it. So it's kind of like an underdog thing, right? Me too, man. I always felt like I wasn't heard for some reason. Like, you know, I guess because I would say I don't speak loud. You know what I mean? Like I have this soft, calm voice. So I kind of always felt like not heard. And I think that may not even be the case, but it's probably a way God positioned me. You know what I mean? So I can go as hard as I do every day, but I kind of felt not heard, looked over. So it caused me to kind of have this self-confidence, like this low self-confidence, like who want to hear what I got to say?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or should I even say something? You know what I mean? Or, you know how you get in the group, like in school, and one person got to speak?
Was that you?
No, it was not me, because I don't want to be who want to hear what I got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of my thing with, and another thing too, man, I read somewhere where it says that one of the attributes of a lack of self-confidence is comparing yourself to people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you was comparing yourself to your brother?
Oh, yeah.
And I was comparing myself to other people.
That's deep, yeah.
Right. So I was comparing myself to people who were, who I felt were better than me. You know what I mean? As a speaker, as a leader, or, you know, even how they're tall, muscular, like, you know what I mean? So I would just compare myself, like, man, I'm only 5'8", fat, with a soft pitched voice, you know what I mean? So like it was a thing of a lack of self-confidence, man. So that kind of, you know, played with me for a long time, man.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
So how did you like? Is it 5'8", fat?
Right.
How did you like overcome? Because ain't nothing you can do about that. Because that's the thing, right? It's like certain things you can overcome, right? Just like
Yeah, of course.
whatever, right? But there's just certain things that are just a part of you.
Right.
How did you turn those things into your strength?
I mean, even to this day, I think it's an internal thing. So it's not necessarily I stopped thinking that way. It's still there.
Yeah.
But I think I know it's there. You feel me? Like I hear it. So I don't let it drive me away from my mission. I let it drive me closer to my mission by doing a total opposite. Or like if I feel fat, then I go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, being tall, I mean, you can't do nothing about that, you know. But being heard, you know, I just make sure I'm being heard, you know. So it's kind of one of those things, man. Like,
Yeah.
It's a driving force for me. I don't let it, I guess in my mind, I don't let it psych me out to lower how I feel about myself. But it's this competitive edge within my own self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, have somebody ever told you, well, you can't do this? You're like, man, yes, I can.
Watch me.
Watch me, right.
I put up 60 on the...
right. Put up right. You feel me? So that's what it is.
Let them know. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if you want to get me on these sticks, you know, vacation Henry is a little different, right? All these sticks on, man, you know, put up 60 points.
Oh, my
63.
gosh, man.
Kurt, I hope you see this. No, just like,
I'm going to cut this out specifically for Kurt, man. I'm going to send it to his inbox. So hopefully this is driving force. So next time.
but you're 100% right, though.
Right.
Like, it's something, it's that, I'm telling you, man, like, I'll give you an example, right? And it's, I don't know if this is a great example, but it's kind of pretty recent, but
Right.
we had a vehicle that returned, and the car had bugs in it, right? 9 times out of 10, you know. Anyway, but you know, we know the bugs weren't there when we you know gave it out, right? So,
Right.
And my managers went out there to check the car. And like you could tell like the apprehension, like, oh shoot, is there bugs in this? Like, is it like just kind of open the door like timid?
Right.
So I walked out there, I'm like, man, I wouldn't like, and they're like, and they looked at me kind of crazy, like, why you just like, because I've learned to just the things that I don't like,
Right.
shoot it head on, and it's gonna make it so much easier, right?
Right.
Get it out the way, go ahead and boom, or again, even the curses with like Madden, right? Like, all right, you don't think I can do this? Cool, watch me,
Bad.
watch me.
If you look at Michael Jordan documentary, I think those were some of the driving force that caused him to be great. I saw what his dad say. His dad said that Michael, you know, if you tell him he can't do something, he gonna make an effort to show you that he can do it. And even with some of the like the trash talking, I think he needed that trash talking, like somebody to say something to him, so that he can, you know, do what he do. I think there was one episode where he said that he said one of the players says the other players said something to him, and he just, you know, he went up like he just made it happen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the game, they say, well, we think he just made it up because the player said he never said that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think he just needed that as a fuel.
Yeah.
You know?
Winners create the conditions in their minds to succeed.
Right.
Like 100%. Winners create the conditions in their minds to succeed.
Right.
Regardless if it's real or not. Like, just that's what it's gonna be.
Right.
Because I have to perform. So what conditions do I need to create to put myself in a way that I can perform?
Right.
That's some people perform when they back against the wall, right? They perform better. Some people perform better when they up by 100 points, right? Like it's just, you know, you got to figure out your personality and like what drives you to figure out, you know, because sometimes like you can get so, you know, so caught up when you're behind,
right,
that you just got to slow the game down. Like, okay, boom, all right, let me be strategic about this. Let me take it 1 point at a time, or you know, 1 step at a time to get to what I need to get to.
That's one of the I think that's something I said in one of the JTNSs has said self-confidence begins with knowing where you are.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I believe bars. And honestly, knowing yourself, self-awareness, knowing who you are, your weaknesses, your strengths would help you with that. You know. Now the opposite, arrogance, is the total opposite. You know, when people talk about self-confidence, some people may confuse it with arrogance. Arrogance, you tend to, what do you call that word? You put more emphasis on your strength, but you overanalyze your weaknesses, or you overanalyze your strengths, and you don't really look at you run away from them. You know what I mean? So you try to poke yourself out to make yourself look like something you're not. But when you're self-confident, you know I have a weakness here. Yeah. You know, either I'm going to work and get better, or I'm going to lean on my brother because I know he's strong in the area. Yep. You know, because that's just not what I can do. You know what I do. Right. You know. So
when you get to that point, though, you like when you get to the point where you can like recognize that okay, I'm not strong in this area, and I just need to delegate it out, or I need to, you know, whatever. Like I think that's a strength right there for sure.
Right, right. It's a scripture. You got a lyric of the day?
Of course I got a lyric of the day.
Okay, I know we usually do a lyric of the week. Now I'm gonna go into the scripture. If you want to come up with your lyric of the week.
All right. Lyric of the week comes from Lil Wayne.
Boy.
Greatest rapper alive, maybe. You know, it's all right. So it's totally off topic, but I'm you know.
Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts? Because I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like is Jay-Z the best rapper alive, right? Is it Drake? Is it Wayne? Like, is it Cole? Like, who is it? Somebody I'm not, a young boy, I guess. So the young, you know, I don't know, but like, I know it's sort of off topic. I'm just
I think that's a debate. I think that's a debate that's subjectable.
It's so subjective. It is.
I said subjective. It's subjective.
No, that's a word. Subjectable.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah. It's really based on your opinion. Yeah. And your taste. Like, I love, like, it's fun to get in that conversation. But real talk, man, like we grew up from the South. I mean, I ain't really listened to Jay-Z until I was older. You know, until I was like maybe 20, 24, 25. Because I began to notice his business accolades, but it was always Lil Wayne I listened to. Really, it was Tip for me over Lil Wayne.
Really?
Yeah, but you know, hey.
So Atlanta, but
yeah,
you so Atlanta.
You know back then, man. But yeah, that's that thing. Okay. Man. Yeah. So.
The reason why I say that because like I don't know, like I think that when it's all said and done, I feel like Drake is probably gonna top Wayne and Jay-Z. I feel like you can't deny the success, like the run that he's had. Right. But at the same time, like Jay-Z is like outside of the booth, he has done way more than anybody has done.
Of course.
And I think I value that a lot more.
Of course.
But
well, Jesus said this. I just went into that. Jesus said this. He said, even though you'll do greater works than me, doesn't make you greater.
Dang.
You feel me?
Oh, that's my. Oh, you lead me to my point. No, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you lead me to my point. Because how can I give Drake better than Wayne when he came from under his lineage?
Right. Yeah. Lil Wayne begat Drake. Jay-Z begat Lil Wayne.
Whoa. No,
it's best rapper alive.
Different tree.
Since the best rapper retired.
You got it. You won. You got it. You right.
You know he looked up the big Jay-Z.
He did, but he didn't come from his tree though.
Nah, I mean, but the DNA is there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, lyric of the week comes from Lil Wayne, and he says, "Yes, I'm the best, and no, I'm not positive. I'm definite." You know how like crazy, like yes, I'm the best.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not positive.
Right.
I'm definite. Like I'm definitively better than anybody that you had. Like, and this is when Wayne was on that streak. Like,
Right.
you just couldn't touch him, man. And like, and I think like when it comes to self-confidence, like that's how you have to feel about yourself.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you have to feel that nobody can touch you, no matter what they do.
Right.
What they, like if they in your zone, they're in your sphere of specialty.
Right.
Man, I wish they would. They would.
See.
Sorry. That's all I got.
Nah, that makes sense. Before I go into the liquor today, because I had 4 points. You know, when it comes to building self-confidence, number one was faith. Lil Wayne had the faith, right, to say, I'm the best thing, you know, and that's a definite.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you believe and then you put your word out there, what you're doing is making a promise to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to keep that promise. Now the self-confidence part comes in to play when or if you have the ability to keep that promise to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you gotta be consistent with that.
Right.
Even if you don't feel like you're the best, by you saying you're the best, you have to compete with yourself every day to make sure that you're the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of faith. Me personally, faith in God, faith in the Word. That's a whole spiel, bro.
But like I wonder, like, can you be self-confident without that faith? Like because I think again, like when it kind of comes back to, man, you can put yourself in a freaking depression,
Right.
trying to like figure out how to make things happen your way.
Right.
But when you realize that, okay, like whatever it's to be, it's gonna be up to God, and like putting it in His hands and having that faith in Him that whatever's for you is for you. Like, is that a great way of thinking about I guess how to have self-confidence in yourself is like what you said, that first pillar being faith. Is it having faith even in a higher power than yourself, because you only can do so much?
With Lil Wayne example, Lil Wayne didn't say he was the best thing, and that's a definite because he was just talking. You have to understand one thing. You have to understand his work ethics.
Oh yeah,
You feel me?
Yeah.
The Bible say faith without work is
Dead.
So once you begin to have faith and you put it out there, your work have to be an example of what your faith is.
Is that the second one?
Huh?
His work.
His work. Nah.
Oh, okay.
Well. The second one was courage.
Courage.
So you got to have faith and courage. So he had courage. He said it, but then his courage is doing the work, even though sometimes he may not believe that he was the best. You feel me? Like, because we still have to think about it. As people, we still have challenges. Whether you have self-confidence or not, you're still going to hear a voice. Nah, Tip might got it, bro. You ain't the best rapper. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jay-Z he's still popping, bro. He back out of retirement. Like you dead, boy.
Right.
But every day he had to battle that and go in the studio because he was trying to prove to himself.
Right.
He had to do the work.
Dang. You know how Wayne say like y'all don't listen to nobody else stuff.
Right.
You ever heard it before?
I never heard.
Okay, so like it's like a common I guess like a thing that about Wayne is like Wayne does not listen to at a point in his life, like
I did hear that. My bad.
He didn't listen to other people's music.
Yeah, it just popped up. Yeah.
I wonder if that has something to do with it, because like did he not listen to other people's music because like he knew that he listened to them and made like dang those self-doubt thoughts.
He'll start comparing himself.
Right.
That's what it is. See, but okay, I gotta bring this clip back up because you said something last week. You said this is what you said.
I think it's externally and internally.
Right.
I think success is more about showing others that you can be successful.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
And becoming is more internal.
Oh, showing myself that.
Yeah. So that's why you don't feel like when you're becoming, you don't, because nobody can see you.
Right.
Okay, you said something real key. You said there's a difference between success and becoming. Something to that degree. Success is an external thing. I have to appear that I'm making progress to you.
Yeah.
You feel me? because I have to, like, my success is solely dependent on what you think about me. But becoming is what I think about me. You know what I mean? So Lil Wayne, him not listening to another artist was him saying, nah, I'm my own competition. So I need to. So yeah, when you're your own competition, of course you're the best because you're getting better every day. You know, I'm better than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? So that self-confidence was based solely upon him getting better every day against his own self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Dang, man. Dang, Wayne. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one was faith. He had the faith to put it out there. Then he had courage,
right?
You know, to make it happen. The third one I have here is I wonder if I should switch it around, man. That was the overthinking part I had. But
that's what I want to say. No, but so like courage and faith, right? I'm gonna go ahead and call it.
Right.
We got the best podcast in the world. We got the best podcast. But like, it's not that's that only having that faith, but like the work we putting in, right?
That's
like,
true.
Like,
that's true. That's true.
Like how many people, like just think about logically, right?
Right.
How many people on vacation with pod?
Right.
Like would choose to like, you know what? Hey, we on vacation. We're gonna go out and pod.
Right. Right.
Like y'all ain't seeing it. I'm just letting you know right now. I know you're looking at this. And I know you feel like you got a better pod than we do, but you don't because we're on vacation working.
And we working.
I talk some trash, man. I just can't help it.
My man putting up 6
right now. By the way, this is another piece of it too, right? By the way, again, we just getting started with this, right? Like we ain't like we've talked about it previously on I think on JT and this, but like neither one of us care about being in front of the camera.
No, we don't.
Like this is as bad as it's gonna get. we fine. Like don't get me wrong. Like we got it right. But this is as bad as it's gonna get. Like, it's only gonna get better and better because guess what? We're not gonna be in front of the camera.
Hey, when you see another face,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like eventually it'll get to the point. I don't know. We may still pie, weekly, I guess, but like it just I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where we have the faith,
right,
and we got the courage to be out, you know what I'm saying, to put the work in.
Right.
And we're gonna show y'all.
Yeah. Even
continue to show you.
See, even when the numbers don't look right, we still working.
Who cares about
them? Like it's courage, man. Like you have to overcome yourself every day.
Yep.
You know, I talk to a lot of people and it's just like I feel like it ain't working fast or it ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to diss nobody, but you're going to go through a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions, man.
Yep.
That's just the process. You know, you're going to go through that. But you got to have courage to get through it. You know what I mean? Which bring me to my third point. You got to have patience. You know what I mean? Like, if I was 25, like, the number one thing I would tell myself is to have patience. And you know how people say trust the process? Now, that's another one of those things that sound like cliche. But you have to understand that, like my man said last week, like becoming successful is the process of becoming. You know what I mean? So your success is not dependent upon success itself. It's dependent upon the person that you're becoming.
Yeah.
And the process is the very tool that makes you into that person. So you have to endure and be patient throughout the process. The work that you're putting in now, it's gonna fight back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like me editing, like learning this podcast, media, you know, it talks back every day. But once I learn something that takes me to like the next level the next day, like that's an exciting moment, man. So you just gotta have patience, man. You gotta get through those emotions, get through those feelings of, you know, feeling like you less than, you know, because you're gonna feel it. I'm not saying you ain't gonna feel it, but you just gotta have patience.
Yeah, you gotta play the long game. Like
that's it.
Like stop. Like man, you gotta understand that. Like again, what is for you is for you. Right. It kind of goes back to the faith piece because. I said, who cares about the numbers? Like, I really do care about the numbers. I'm a guy, so I do care about the numbers. But I also understand that like, okay, there's so many different things. Again, like when I talk about like, we're only at the bottom of the iceberg,
right,
of where we're gonna be at, right? Of building this thing up. But it's like, and I think about, okay, I can think about, okay, dang, like, well, we ain't moving as fast as we or not even what we thought we could, because I don't think we have necessarily any expectations per se.
Right.
And I think it's again remind me of something Toby said. If I can do this thing for 10 years,
right,
and in 10 years if I don't have and that's how I look at it, right? If I can do this for I don't want to say 10, I'll say 5 years, right? And we'll get to where we want to go, but like, as long as we're consistent. But my point is that whenever you have like a something that you're trying to do, don't get so caught up in where you are. Have that vision of where you're going.
That's true.
And then and then look at also, again, even though we're doing a lot of the work and doing a lot of grinding and stuff,
right?
There's still so many more elements we can add to our game.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Collaborate. Like, I don't want to go through it, but like, there's so many other things that we can do to take this thing to the next level. So why would I feel discouraged about where we're at? And honestly, I feel like we're right where we need to be.
That's true.
For what we've been doing.
Right.
And
see, you said, okay, look at where you're heading, but also look at where you're going. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see it, because there's still some things, like you say, there's still some things that we haven't even incorporated into what we're doing, because what we're doing is taking each step by step by step. Walk by faith, not by sight. It's a walk, man. You know what I mean? And walking is a continuation. It's a continuous journey. People don't understand that when you're walking by faith, you just keep going.
Yeah. And I want to shout out to all my doobies out there.
Doobies!
Like, for real, like, because, like, you guys are riding this trip with us, like, at first, just kind of the first part of it and kind of seeing it.
Right.
And, I just want to thank y'all, because, like, you get the chance to see the blueprint as well of, like, like, you should be on camera. Like, just being honest with you, right? You should be doing your own thing.
Facts.
In terms of podcast, because honestly, like, don't get me wrong. I know we got stuff that we got to say that's valuable, but like, I feel like there's people that are more talented than we do, that haven't done what we can, right, or we done.
Yeah.
And I just think that those people are gonna be able to. We're gonna be able to track those people and be able to kind of again take this to the next level.
That's true. That's true. It's like the rap game, man. Kind of like I know some talented people who can actually rap, man.
Yeah.
They just don't have the work ethic, though.
Yeah.
Which leads me to, so we have faith, we have courage, we have patience. Just be patient with the process. Don't rush the process, because this is the making of who you are becoming. Don't rush the process. And the last one I have is experience.
Okay, before you get into experience.
Okay.
You say I just got to hit on it.
Go ahead.
Got to hit on it. If you try to skip through it, like, no matter what success that you have, you're going to always go back to basically zero.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you're becoming,
right.
If you focus on becoming, no matter how like down you get, you only can go as low as your floor.
That's true.
So if you continue becoming and building your floor, be in a good spot.
That's it. It's a continuation, man.
Yep.
It never stops.
Yep.
It never once you stop becoming, you're dead.
Forget the prize, man.
Yeah.
It's about becoming. Being honest.
Right. And the last one is experience, man. So once you have faith, courage, patience, through the process, then you begin to build your confidence on your experience, because now you become familiar and accustomed to certain things and people or whatnot. What made me think about, lacking of self-confidence, like, I had a gig the other day, at the Four Seasons, and
boss talk. Go ahead.
No, real at the Four Seasons, man.
Just casually said it,
Shout out to Coach Vision podcast.
The Four Seasons.
Yeah.
I ain't never even been to the Four Seasons.
Shout out to Coach Vision. That's another podcast I'm producing. They had an opportunity, right, this week, but my ability to navigate and to just talk to people there, to talk to a security guard and, not be timid. I remember one point I was timid, And I thought to myself, I was like, man, I can just actually feel the self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to meditating, like, where does this self-confidence come from? You know, because, again, my job is to come on camera and help, you know, my doobies, you know, with my experience, like, you know, whatever I can help with. So I was like, man, it came from my experience because I did this before. I did that. I'm like, but what caused that? And I was like, patience. You know, it kind of worked it backwards.
Yeah.
You know, this is my way of working it backwards.
Yeah.
I had to be patient, you know, because I could have just quit. What cost you patience? What, you know, courage, because I had to step out there and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the foundation of your courage? Faith. I didn't know paint from whatever, you know.
Right.
I just had to step out here because I knew that I was destined for something bigger than myself. So I had to just step out here and make it happen. So yeah, man, just having that that courage and just having the patience and you know, experience, my confidence, my self-confidence built upon my experience, which built upon, like, because I know that when we go into other situations, they may not be familiar and it may not be what's that word I'm looking for? May not be no assurance there, but I do know that, okay, I'm going there to get the experience, and that experience is gonna make me better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Story time.
Okay.
Story time. So again, being in corporate, right? And you know, being from where I'm from, sometimes like it feel like it's like you can feel like you can do better.
Right.
From a communication perspective, from a professionalism perspective.
Right.
Just all those things, right? And but I remember, you know, being an assistant manager at one point, and I had this book. And actually, when I first got hired, I can't remember. I don't know if I told this story or not. But I had this book that I said I was gonna write, or sorry, I was gonna listen to. It's an audio book. It's actually the first. I think it's the first audio book that I bought from Audible. I think so. But it was The Power of Self-Confidence by Brian Tracy.
Okay. I haven't got it. Read that.
But yeah, like a year went by, and I had like started like the first few months that I was at that location, and kind of got lost in just kind of being busy and just whatever.
Right.
But then a year went by, I'm like, dang, like why am I not, you know, where I want to be at, right? Why, like I got all this experience,
right?
But it's like, why can't I, you know, necessarily quote unquote get promoted, right? But I had to remind myself that I was like, you know what, dang, I was like, I said I was gonna read this book before I got promoted. I was gonna like read this book and take notes on it, whatever, right?
Right.
So I go back and I revisit the book, and it took me like 3 months.
Okay.
What's so crazy about it is, like, as soon as I got done reading the book, maybe a week later, a position comes open.
Wow.
And I get promoted, right?
Wow.
But it's like it kind of led me to kind of where I was before I got my last promotion, and it was one of those things where a man's like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, like why am I not, you know, where I want to be?
Right.
And I had a conversation, you know, with the mentor, and I had to ask them. I was like, what do I need to do to get to the next level? And she told me, you do this, you'll get there. I was like, okay, cool. Because I'm thinking that it's a lot of the intangibles that I needed to have. Right. But the reality of it is I had the intangibles. Like I was a hard worker. Right. You know, I was, you know, I could, you know, communicate, you know, efficiently, or I could do all the intangibles, but it was one piece of the pie that I didn't necessarily have. And once I got that piece right, you know, COVID happened. But so outside of that, you know, it just kind of, you know, it hurt. But as soon as something, you know, things started to pop back open, you know, I got promoted, right? Right. But I just remember, like, before I had that conversation, of feeling like I wasn't enough, you know, and like I wasn't like man, like, do I really, like, can I really get to the 6-figure income? Right? Is that like is that a real thing for me?
Do I deserve it?
Like I see people do it, right?
Right.
You know it's possible, but like, does God have that for me though?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that have that same doubt, but like God wants for you. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that because it's gonna sound crazy, but like, because it not necessarily. I don't know if it's 100% true, but like, God wants for you what you want for yourself. If that makes sense. Like, and I know that ain't like 100%, like not like an absolute principle, but like, if you want it bad enough and you putting Him first, through it all, like He will give that to you if it's gonna truly, help, I guess, build His kingdom in a way.
Right. Right.
And I think that's just kind of the mindset that you have to have too. Like, you have to have that pure heart to understand, like, man, I want to get this position not just for this or not from like, but for this bigger picture of things. And but yeah, man, just that self-confidence though. Like,
it sound like a testimony too. But I got 2 questions.
Okay.
Was that really self-confidence?
I don't know.
Like because I'm
no,
like, okay, so you felt, the first question is that you said you felt like you wasn't deserving of the that position, right? Or you just felt low, or before you went to your boss or whatever, right?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
So the question is that I know some people out there, because they have low self-esteem, they wouldn't even bother to even ask the question or go to their manager and ask because they're afraid of the answer. What sparked you to ask that question? Like, what made you say, okay, was it y'all relationship, or what was it that you said, I'm gonna go ask, just get some feedback? Because some people don't like feedback.
2 things. One, shoot, baby. I'm a shooter. I don't like. I'm telling you, man. Like, shoot. And I'm one of those people. Like, I ain't like. If I want to know the answer to something, I'm gonna ask. I don't care how you feel about it. I'm gonna ask. Right.
Right.
So I think that's number one thing. Right. Is like understanding that I can't get to, because I've been passed up on opportunities.
Right.
Because I didn't necessarily have the knowledge. Right. Or I didn't know.
But why you didn't quit though?
Well, I'm not a quitter, I guess. I'm just
So you knew you would. You just felt like you wouldn't.
Yeah, like you knew. Yeah, like it just everybody goes up and down, right?
So you had faith.
Had faith, man.
That's all wrong. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's but at the end of the day, right? Like that self-confidence, right? You know that like internally,
right,
that you can do it,
right.
But again, sometimes experience,
right,
has kind of and I guess kind of a negative way, has kind of taught you that maybe you're not as good as these other people or this other person.
Oh, comparison,
right?
Yeah.
But maybe you're not as good as them, but you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what do they have that I don't have?
Right.
Oh, well, it's just that. Like, I got that. Oh, shoot, let's go then. Game on.
We're good.
Game on.
Good. See, and okay, before I go to my next question, here's a point here. Like, we have all this gunk in our mind, and really, I want to say it's the enemy. It's you and the enemy too, right? But sometimes, once you have that courage to make that step, like, you had the courage to ask your manager, like, what is it? What am I not doing? You looking for feedback because you had courage. Ask, you will receive. He that asks. I don't want to chop that up, mess that up, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But you asked the question, and they gave you a feedback, and you was like, so I had all that. Okay, it was just this. We go through all this mess in our mind, and sometimes it ain't even that serious.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So what's the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence?
Oh, okay. So I read this. Self-esteem is when you're talking negatively to yourself. When you bring your own self down, like, man, I suck. Like you had some doubt, but you didn't submit to it because you asked, right?
So it's not only talking down to yourself; it's also submitting to those thoughts that you have.
Yeah, because we're gonna have like.
Cause I'm gonna say I be talking trash to myself. Boy, you garbage, boy. I'm just being honest, right? That's how I. Yeah, like if I'm not, if I just, again, that's how I'm wired, right?
Right.
Like if I'm not competing, and even if it's against myself,
right?
Like yesterday, right? Like we were out on the beach, vacation life, soft life. What do they call it? Soft life. Right, it's soft life, right? No, we on the beach and me and my oldest son Alan, we throwing the football, right? Trying to who could throw it the farthest, right?
Right.
I got him beat by a mile because I'm competitive, right? I got him beat, but I'm trying to okay, how do I beat my personal self? Like, dang, that was trash. Like,
Right.
I'm talking to myself and then Kurt come out and give me a little extra motivation. Yeah, it's Kurt. I had to put him on the Kurt. I'm glad Kurt ain't got no platform because he can't. I can be lying right now and all this, right? It's just no, in all seriousness though. But like that having the external factor too is like
right.
It helps too, but like internally, like I'm super competitive with myself, and I'll be like, nah, you ain't getting it done, or you ain't, But it's more so it's never you ain't getting it done, and you need to go sit down somewhere. So you ain't getting it done, you need to step it up.
But that's just how you operate. Probably Jordan operates the same way. Oh, come on, that's trash. I mean, I don't call myself trash and that, but I was like, all right, Tony, you can do better. All right, what can we do to do better? What can we do to do better? Like, you know what I mean? How can we make it happen? You know what I mean? Like, I talk to myself that way. But when you talking and telling yourself, like, man, you worthless. Like, you ain't nothing. Like, this guy's better than you. That girl is better than you. You know what I mean? You ain't cute. You ain't, when you just really downing yourself and just really submitting to that, that's low self-esteem. And that would affect your self-confidence, So that's kind of like the difference from what I read. Google it.
So self-confidence is more so what? So self-esteem is
self-esteem is
so coming to those
how you feel about yourself, and self-confidence is your trust and your ability. Like having the trust in your ability, like to make something happen.
I guess you can do it without hesitate. Like when you hesitate, that means you lack self-confidence.
Like talking about to do something. When you lack self-confidence, I don't want to say hesitate because you can always double back and then just, you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes I might hesitate, like, wait, I'm like, nah, Tony, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, you've done this before.
But that's self-confidence. Because at that moment, you're like doubting yourself.
Right.
But you end up overcoming it.
Right.
I don't know.
You say is that lacking self-confidence?
Yeah, like when you hesitate, like that small hesitation of like, oh, maybe not, but then you end up ultimately like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Well, lacking self-confidence is, can I do it? Oh no, that person can do it better than me. Or, can I do it? I'm gonna get it wrong, so I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? So I don't believe in my ability. So I'm just not going to. But if I say, can I do it? I ain't did it before. I don't know. I'm gonna try it anyway. That's different.
Remind me of the commercials, the insurance commercials. Like, dude was out there like juggling chainsaws. You see that? He was like, "Nigga, I got it." And the wife was looking at him like, "What you doing?" Like, hey, you gotta be confident, man.
I got you. My second question, man. What was it that your manager told you, bro? Like, is it something that we can get game from? They got you to that next level, because I want to know.
I think it just it was more clarity than anything.
Okay.
Cause because again, like you say, in your head you got so much junk that's in your head again from past experiences, from whatever, and that you can like let those things kind of trick you off your square, as they say back in the day, right?
Right.
But like those things can knock you off, though, right?
Right.
And because you're trying to overcompensate for those things that you can't control. But like, I guess what it was is that when she told me, all you need is this. Like, you have everything else. All you need is this. And it was a measurable category. Like, it was service. Like, the only thing I needed was customer service. Like, that's it. Right. Okay. Which easy, right? Like, easy. One of those things. It's easy, but like.
But you had that clarity, so that gave you.
Yeah, like it was. I was able to remove everything else out.
Right.
Stop trying to like focus on this, and that was thing. Like, I don't get me wrong, I still executed in all the other areas.
Right.
But like I was able to kind of make a clear path to what I needed to focus on, and it just all right. Let's go kill it. Let's go kill it in service.
Right. Okay. That's confident, man. Confident. All right, man. Scripture today. So we talked about, like when you have a lack of self-confidence, of course we have weaknesses and we have strengths. So, do we or should we lack self-confidence because we got weaknesses? No. Apostle Paul said it best. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. I'm going to start at 7. The word says, "And lest I should be exalted above measures by the abundance of the revelation, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I be exalted above all measures. Concerning this thing, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it shall depart from me, that the Lord will remove it. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." Apostle Paul was talking about a certain thorn in the flesh that, pretty much irritated him, and something he was just really inquiring and wondering if God can take away. But you have to understand that Apostle Paul first, who was Saul, was a pretty much an educated brother. He was considered a Pharisee. He knew the law, the Mosaic law, like front and back. And he first started off annihilating, the Christians at that time. But God, the Lord appeared to him. He changed. That's how he became Apostle Paul. And then he became very knowledgeable in the Word of God. And he became, he had all sorts of revelation. But the thing is that sometimes we can have so many gifts and talents, it can make us, I want to say, arrogant to a degree, or make me feel like I'm above you. So what God did was gave him this thorn, or allowed this thorn in the flesh to humble him. And the Lord said that my grace is made sufficient for you, and your strength. My strength is made perfect in your weakness. So even in his weaknesses, God utilized him even in his weaknesses, or God made up in his weaknesses. Because through our weaknesses, if we are accustomed and familiar with who we are within and our weaknesses, and we just allow the Lord to utilize us in our weaknesses, then we can be a testimony to somebody else, because it makes us human. You know what I mean? So know your weaknesses are not meant for you to be or have lack of self-confidence. Matter of fact, your weakness can be a testimony if you allow it, and it can add to your self-confidence, because you know that you're not in this walk alone, for one, and you know that you're human, number 2. So that's my scripture today.
Okay. It's
What?
It's hard for me not to do this Cupid shuffle behind me, but I just it threw me off. But luckily I got notes. But nah, man. So like in all seriousness, so like, dang. See, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? You hit me, boom. So again, our weakness are, again, like I've said it before, right? Like, I'm a good number 1. But number 2,
strong number 2.
Oh man, you can't beat me as a number 2, right?
Right.
And even in our weakness of being the person on the camera, just talk with me, I guess.
Right.
But of being like on camera, like this is like could be a testimony. Again, that's why I like the people that that are not speaking right now, or not, like, you have a voice,
right,
but you're not using it,
right,
like because of whatever reason. Maybe it's not your strong suit to get on camera. Maybe you're a better communicator, but you just haven't figured out the I don't know, the background and
the business
type of
dynamic.
camera.
Yeah.
When do I pose? Where do I pose? All that stuff.
Right.
know, LED Media got you.
But
like stop using it as an excuse to not get it done.
That's
like,
true. That's true.
Just go out and do it, man.
Yeah, man. Because His grace is made sufficient in our weaknesses, man. He's made stronger in our weaknesses. So, yeah.
But I think too, like, you gotta, like, again, my grace is sufficient for you, right? Like I think I love your self-confidence formula, by the way. Like, I don't know if we've coined that or not, but
no.
A self-confidence formula: faith, courage, what was the third? Patience, and experience. Right? That's the formula that you need to have self-confidence. And I don't know, maybe I'm a freestyle, but like, I don't think you have to have all four.
Nah.
Like, you don't have to have all four. You just need to find somebody that has one of the four that you're missing or two of the four that you're missing. Like,
right.
Collaborate, partner with people
that
have that. And
that's true. You just have to have it.
Yeah.
It don't have to be you.
Yeah. Like, and because reality of it is, again, like, all right, and you know, like, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, right? I'm always going to look for ways to increase, because I don't want to be broke. Right? You know, I believe in multiple streams of income. I believe in, making sure that you're setting your family up for success, and but I'm also limited on time, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a side business, or it's a secondary option for a reason, right? And so it's not going to take up my time. So let me find something that can give me, supplement a lot of my income, or match my income even, and to where I can still, have the time, so it doesn't affect the primary, right?
Definitely.
And I think that's just how you have to kind of look at it, is even though I might not know what to do, this person is an expert at this thing. Let me pay them to
do this,
or to teach me the game, so I can shortcut and not spend as much time.
Or this person might have the experience.
Yeah.
Or this person might have the courage and the confidence like Lil Wayne.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But I'm gonna get a verse from Lil Wayne. It's just goes right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Hey, that's all I got. What you got?
Man, it's Be More to Do More podcast. Here we are.
Yeah, man, we made it. I will say, we got a podcast on, but here we are, man. Here we are. So y'all be sure to like, subscribe, share this information, man. Just hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. Let's get this information out of here, man. And yeah, man, we out. You good?
You told somebody to get the head up cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, on tolerate.